All right, good morning, everyone. I'm not quite ready to start what I was going to share, but wanted to make sure that the stream was up and healthy and that everything would be in place come 10 o'clock. So that's actually when I'm going to start, and in the meanwhile, I'm going to be doing just a little bit of management stuff here, collecting some bookmarks that I want to post, etc. Some links that I want to post. So just bear with me while I work on that, and then we'll start in about 5 minutes. So, let's see here. Just show and formatted. Where is that? Here. Let's see. Yeah. I'm going to move my microphone because okay, maybe that will be better. And if anyone is on, maybe you could make a note to me about my sound, how it sounds to you. I'm just watching the feed a little bit to see what it's doing. Okay. So I'm going to now turn my sound off. And how do I get that to silence? See if that will do it. 2, 3, 4. Looks like we're good. So let me know if it sounds good on your end too. And here we are at 10 o'clock. Friday. Friday before Palm Sunday. Hope that you've had a good week, at least as good as might be expected under our extreme circumstances. Hope that you're staying home and people are taking care of you as needed. Move that. Had a note from somebody this week saying that their daughter was insisting that they stay in. She's doing the shopping for her and that kind of thing. People teleworking. Bonnie is planning again to be on rotation with her, the rest of her staff, and have next week telework. But that was the plan for this past week, and didn't work out so well. Hopefully this coming week she'll be able to be on rotation. Someone else will be there at the clinical center managing things on site. She'll do her management from off-site. More and more information coming out, and the emphasis always is on washing our hands, not touching our face, washing our hands frequently, not touching our face, and avoiding the potential for social cross-contamination, for lack of a better word. I'm not the expert in this stuff, so I'm just talking about it from what I have learned from some of those experts, and I'm probably saying it wrong. But a few things I wanted to touch on with you this week before Sunday. Wanted to let you know a little bit about this coming Sunday. I talked to you a little bit about it yesterday. Sunday worship will be at 11 o'clock. Some of it will be live material. Some of it will be some video material that the conference is sharing with us. Our conference leadership has put this together, so our district superintendents will have various parts of a liturgy for us. Haven't seen it yet, but looking forward to it and finalizing putting together our worship experience for Sunday. It will conclude with a variation on what's called the Love Feast. It's a liturgy that we have in our book of worship, and what you'll need to have on hand, something to drink. Maybe that's coffee or tea or juice or just water. It doesn't really matter, whatever you prefer. And then some kind of comfort food. Maybe for you that's bagels and cream cheese, maybe it's toast and jam, maybe it's pretzels, biscuits and honey, cinnamon rolls. I think Bonnie and I are going to have French toast and real maple syrup. In the notes below this video, I'm going to have a link to another video that tells you a little bit more about the Love Feast. And I just had a text from someone, and so I'm responding to them. Yes, we have a live stream. Didn't have time to email it. Sorry. So, I expect that person will be joining us soon, and maybe I ought to wait just a minute and then cover again what I just did, because I'm not sure anyone else. Ah, yes, there are a couple people on. looks like. So if you're on, go ahead and say something in that chat box to the right or make a note below. Again, in order to do that, you do have to be signed into YouTube. And if you don't want to do that, I understand. But that's a way for us to communicate if you're willing to log into YouTube. So I'm just waiting for a minute to see if anyone else comes on real quickly, and then I'll start over. So, how's your day going? I was out on the front porch this morning enjoying the breeze, blowing our wind chime, and watching the birds and looking at all the blossoms in the trees and how some of those blossoms are being scattered, giving us a carpet over the street now. And we had guys come and work on our lawn and flower beds this week, so the yard's looking nice, and enjoying the morning air out there. A little bit brisk, but I like that. I think I'm the oddball in my family. I think most everyone else in the family prefers warmer weather, but I was born in Maine, and when I was 5, family moved to Southern California, and I always have liked cooler weather better than that of the desert southwest. So, again, if you're here, go ahead and make a note. Don't have to, but lets me know that you're here. And so, while we're waiting, what to fill the gaps? Drawing some blanks right now. I've shared with you about the icon behind me here. Talk to you a little bit about Celtic prayer, Christian spirituality and the Celtic tradition. And I mentioned one of these times, Carmina Gadelica. This is a recent publication of it. It was actually compiled by Alexander Carmichael in the 1800s, and it was a massive work, earned him an honorary doctorate, but it was collected from the Highlands and Islands of Scotland, and it's faced critique and review and republication. This version of it is under copyright, so I cannot share directly from it, but various things that he did collect are available in other forms in other places, and I have felt free to use those. Even though his work was published in the late 1800s, this edition of it is still under copyright. I'm not remembering right now the copyright date. It might be in the 70s. I'm not sure. That's a paperback version of it. At the time, it was 20 pounds sterling if you're in Britain, or $35 here. Probably it's gone up from that since then. Alexander Carmichael lived from 1832 to 1912. So, and most of it was collected in the last half of the 1800s. So, got one person watching. That's a change. Well, unfortunately, some people may have left because I wasn't sharing what they were looking for. There's one. Maybe we'll get a couple more. So good morning to those that are here, and primarily I wanted to give you some information about what to expect in the coming week. Sunday worship will be here on YouTube 11 o'clock. Some of it will be live. Some of it I will be sharing some recorded material that has been produced by our annual conference, materials from our district superintendents, our conference leadership, trying to help us with our worship together, even though we are in our homes. Worshiping together as an annual conference, I think, is a great idea, and so I wanted to incorporate some of what they have brought to us. We'll conclude Sunday's worship with a variation on the Love Feast liturgy. And so you'll want to have on hand something to drink. Maybe that will be coffee or tea or your favorite juice or water. I don't know. Whatever you'd like. And then something to eat, some kind of comfort food. Maybe for you that will be bagels and cream cheese, toast and jam, biscuits and honey. Maybe it's pretzels. I don't know. I think Bonnie and I are going to have French toast with real maple syrup. So that's the plan, and you'll want to have that for our worshiping together separately experience of the Love Feast. And in the notes below, I'm going to have a link to a short video that talks a little bit about the Love Feast, and you might like to take a look at that. I'll have a couple more links down there for you too, and I'll tell you about those as I'm going along. So this coming week, I am not going to be doing live sessions or any morning sessions for that matter, because I'm preparing a number of videos. One is an evening worship video for Thursday evening, sometimes called Holy Thursday or Maundy Thursday. Maundy Thursday comes from that Latin word for command. This is the evening, scriptures tell us, when Jesus washed his disciples' feet and then commanded them to love in the same way through serving. So we'll have a worship video for Maundy Thursday, Holy Thursday, an evening video. I'm planning for it to go up at 7. Then a noontime worship for Good Friday. It'll be a Stations of the Cross liturgy. An Easter morning worship service, which will begin at 11 o'clock. All of these are going to be here on YouTube. And if I can complete it, also an Easter sunrise devotional, which will either be posted live, it'll either go up live or it'll be a posted video. I'm not sure. It's the last on my list, and so it's if I can get it done. If it gets done, it'll start at 6. Birds will already be singing by that time, and when we are done, the sky should be starting to get light, and you can watch the sunrise if you wish. Now for me, others might be able to do these things in less time. I don't know, but it takes me several hours just to produce a 15-minute video, whether it's scripted or live stream like this one, because I'm going to be coming. I spent a couple hours here this morning planning what I was going to say, and then I'm going to spend some more time going back and editing this video a little bit and then posting it into our playlists. So that takes some time there. So whether it's scripted and recorded or whether it's live like this and then edited afterwards, either way, it takes some significant time. So that's a lot of time that's going into these videos. So that's an overlook of what will be coming in the coming week. Now, in keeping with the Celtic theme that I've brought to this week, I have not only brought that book that I showed you, I also have been listening this morning to a lovely musical rendition of the Lorica. The Lorica is sometimes called the Deer's Cry, sometimes it's called St. Patrick's Breastplate. Though it's attributed to St. Patrick, it probably is not his. It may predate him, but it is certainly his in spirit. The recording that I've been listening to was posted by Emmaus Music. It's from the album The Pilgrim. The music is by Sean Davey, and it's sung by Rita Connolly. It is a lovely video, and they post the words as she's singing. I commend it to you. you may enjoy it as well. And then finally today, I wanted to share with you about the Book of Common Prayer. It's a book of prayers and rituals that's published by the Episcopal Church, and it's a cousin to our own United Methodist Book of Worship. There are a couple of differences. One of them is that the language of the Book of Common Prayer tends to be more old school, traditional, while our Book of Worship, the Book of Common Prayer, old school, traditional, while our Book of Worship tries to be more contemporary. So there's some traditional and some quite contemporary pieces in it. So that's one difference. Another is that the Book of Common Prayer has been released to the public domain. So its contents can be freely used, even in situations like this, streaming. And another difference is you can download a copy of it. You don't have to find an online source like Cokesbury or somebody else that I'm not going to advertise. So you can download a copy of it. That's the third link that I'm going to have down below. And in the section on Lent, for Lent, it has this as an invitation to morning prayer. The Lord is full of compassion and mercy. Oh, come, let us adore him. We tend to think of Lent as a heavy time, this time of preparation, a time of self-denial, and some of that has been enforced upon us by our public health emergency, but here we have this note of joy in this invitation. The Lord is full of compassion and mercy. Let's adore him. Lovely invitation to worship. And then words from Psalms 95, 96, and 100 in the section on morning prayer. Great words. Oh, come, let's sing to the Lord. Let's heartily rejoice in the strength of our salvation. Let us come before his presence with thanksgiving and show ourselves glad in him with psalms. For the Lord is a great God, a great King above all gods. In his hands are the corners of the earth, and the strength of the hills is his also. The sea is his, he made it. His hands prepared the dry land. Oh, come, let's worship, fall down, and kneel before the Lord our Maker, for he is the Lord our God, and we are the people of his pasture, the sheep of his hand. Oh, worship the Lord in the beauty of holiness. Let the whole earth stand in awe of him, for he comes to judge the earth, with righteousness to judge the world, the people with his truth. Oh, be joyful in the Lord, all you lands. Serve the Lord with gladness. Come before his presence with a song. Be sure that the Lord is God. It is he who's made us, not we ourselves. We're his people, the sheep of his pasture. Oh, go your way into his gates with thanksgiving, into his courts with praise. Be thankful to him. Speak good of his name, for the Lord is gracious. His mercy is everlasting. His truth endures from generation to generation. Again, I'm going to have a link to the Book of Common Prayer that you can download down below. And before I wrap up, let me just reiterate something I said yesterday. We should be allowing Jesus to be the window through whom we look at God. If we want to understand who God is, let's use Jesus as the means to do that. If we want to understand what the Scriptures mean, let's let Jesus be our magnifying glass as we study the Scriptures. These Psalms are helpful. So I'll go ahead and wrap up and hope that you have a good day. Again, check the links that I'll post below. I hope you enjoy that recording posted by Emmaus Music, the recording of the music by Sean Davey and sung by Rita Connolly. And as you go through your day, may grace and peace be yours in abundance. Have a good one. before I stop it, I'm just double checking to see if anyone's made a comment I should respond to. And seeing none, I'll just reload it. I still see none, so we'll bring this one to an end then.